Servant leadership and its role in the Army. Servant leadership is certainly not a novel notion, however, it is only known as a corporate initiative way of thinking applied over a few recent years. While the concept keeps expanding and developing, it has always been a complex approach that not many commanders and managers are able to perceive and execute. The philosophy is a reasonable resolution for the Army's occasionally dictating authority issue. This essay eventually investigates the overall idea and impact of servant leadership. The theory's primary aim is to accomplish an environment dependent on common trust. This is achieved by the presence of an obligation to show the character between the two chiefs and subordinates, approve of their fitness, and display their responsibility as a component of the authoritative culture in the military. This prompts the significance of this subject that desperation should be created to reform the knowledge about trust building that empowers genuine mission order during difficulties. One potential path to improve this is to emphasize servant leadership in the Army's leadership philosophy. Similar to traditional leadership, servant leadership helps the commanders construct the association's goals and views. This type of leader set objectives and targets that lower-positioned individuals need to accomplish. Authorities that follow servant leadership share power with supporters to inspire them to reach the vision, acquire the necessary qualities, and meet the objectives. In contrast to traditional leaders, they utilize their ability to engage more people without exclusion and mentor instead of giving direct orders. Numerous higher-positioned Army officers have been adapted to consider administration only as a means of force and control. However, there is a superior method of leading people, which consolidates a balance between serving and guiding. Servant administration is directly related to sharing force and responsibility with representatives to empower the work to be effective. Restricting subordinate specialists corrupts the trust inside any association. At the point when junior chiefs do not have the ability to make decisions or make a move, they feel as though their initiative does not value. Moreover, low trust management forestalls innovative and basic reasoning and does not permit individuals to face judicious challenges. Obviously, more complications might occur while permitting subordinates to make individual choices. Despite this, the complications empower a culture of learning and promote the engagement of others. Military force leadership regulation guides Army people to assemble trust by maintaining the Army esteem and practicing authority predictable with the Army initiative standards illustrated in the Military Chief Necessities Model. Notwithstanding, these are not realistic trust-building strategies for leaders to execute in their units, which can conceivably hinder the experience of soldiers. Even though a significant number of the military's historical figures have distributed many records about the significance of trust inside an army, few have given sensible techniques for teaching it into their arrangements, explicitly the concept of servant leadership. An accomplished order only does not exist without trust, and creating and supporting trust requires serious energy, not to mention that the leader should be deliberate and persistent in his or her method. In other words, when trust is missing, the commander and soldiers cannot expect each other to maintain the Army's vision. Hence, if the unit loses trust in its chief, the latter loses the capacity to lead. The fundamental idea of servant leadership has been analyzed by scholastics and philosophers for quite a long time. The way of thinking is a combination of practices that advances the existence of people, assembles better associations, and contributes to the world becoming more caring and transparent. It prompts that leaders should put themselves in a position that supports subordinate endeavors to complete missions successfully and build certainty and trust in commanders. Armed force leaders can use the theories of servant leadership to set great conditions for subordinates to practice restrained activity and to procure expanded obligation and authority. Moreover, they do this through individual improvement, engaging subordinates, setting the model, and facing challenges. Subsequently, in the military, servant leaders do not focus on their self-images but place the necessities of others on the front to achieve the mission of the association. In conclusion, applying the servant leadership models advised by lead scientists and specialists may build a functional system that may help commanders better form firm groups. Contrary to traditional military leaders, servant leaders move toward the objectives of the association and focus on the advancement of the people. They can set ideal conditions for subordinates to practice viably by instilling the standards of servant leadership into leaders' individual authority reasoning. This is proven by the training found in a few conspicuous military leaders who use this theory. They all have demonstrated the power to form high-performing groups which achieve mission success. This is due to the reader's attention to the development and prosperity of their representatives as a method for making progress in the mission.